Hey guys, it's Mozzie. Welcome back to my studio. Today we are exploring gouache paints. I haven't really used gouache paints a ton, so this is going to be an exploration for me and for you. My good friends at Chalkola sent me this set of 36 colors of gouache paint, which comes with a sponge, a palette to mix all of your paints, a set of brushes in all different sizes, a palette knife to mix your paints, a paper to swatch all of your paint colors, and then of course 36 tubes of gouache paint. So without further ado, let's get started. So first things first, I have to swatch all my paints, and because it's just a very repetitive process, I'm not going to show it to you, but here are all the paints. The only thing that I found with this swatch set was that it didn't show all of the colors. There was one color missing and one duplicate color, so I just kind of filled in that color. It was sky blue, I believe, or turquoise blue. But now let's get into the painting. So as I said before, this isn't a medium that I'm super duper familiar with, so I did some research before I really got into this piece and kind of tried to figure out gouache's strengths and weaknesses to know how best to operate with this painting. So this is a painting of a bird and some flowers, so it's really, really simple. What I did was I started with a wash in the background of just kind of a simple foresty green. And here you can see that I'm starting to paint in the flowers. Now, gouache paint is pretty opaque, but because the background was so dark and I was using red, red is a very transparent color naturally, so I decided that later on you'll see I'm going to put a layer of white where the flowers are. So you'll see that I'm putting white down to make sure that I have a nice, clean, neutral surface to put my colors on. So I'm doing that for all the flowers. I did that for the bird, and I'm putting that over the red. Now, when you're working with gouache, you have to be careful because gouache is similar to watercolor in that it can be reactivated with water. So you want to be careful when you're layering your paint so that you don't reactivate the layers below. But this can be avoided if you use kind of a thicker paint rather than watering it down. So using the paints either just straight out of the tube with the thickness that they are, or watering it down just a little bit to get the consistency that you're looking for without making it too wet so that it'll reactivate the layers below it. And that worked fine for me. It took me a little bit to get the balance of wetness or water inclusion, I guess, in the paints to actual paint or pigment. But eventually I got the hang of it and I was able to finish this piece. So here's the finished piece. I added some simple lines on it just to kind of make a little distinction for the flowers and the bird. And now we're on to our main project. We're going to be using mixed media paper from Strathmore. It's 140 pound. And that's the same paper that I used for my original piece that I just did. And we're going to be making bookmarks. So I taped all of my pages down, my little papers that I'd cut to size. So for these bookmarks, I decided to go for something really simple. I painted one of them with a sky that transitions from a lighter blue to a more pigmented blue. Then I did something that was more just kind of shapes and forms. And then I did something that was more concrete. So the one on the left is a forest scene with a waterfall in the background. The middle one that's pink and purple is just kind of some forms of roses that just kind of combine to be this fun little graphic piece. And then of course the one on the right is the night sky with silver stars and a silver moon. So these are really, really simple to do. There's not really much to the actual images that I'm painting themselves, but I think that they are all their own level, their own version of kind of a fun exploration of gouache paints, and they make a really fun present to give to your friends if you're just kind of thinking about them. So here's the forest piece. And here's the roses. I added some silver and gold paint to it just for some shimmer, and that was a lot of fun. And then, of course, the night sky with silver stars and silver moon. I really like that one. That one's my favorite. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been our Chalkola exploration of gouache paints. Thank you so much to Chalkola for sending me this kit. It was so much fun to use. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have the most wonderful day. And as always, keep on creating. Bye.